Each of you should use whatever gift you have received to serve others as faithful stewards of God's grace in its various forms. What are your gifts? What are you called to do? Do you ever feel like there's just something that you need to do? You ever feel like you're being nudged or pushed just a little bit? Pushed by God? Nudged by God? Do you ever feel like there's a way that you can help somebody? A lot of times, even small things like smiling at somebody can really help the person, can really make them feel good about themselves or make their day be a little bit better than what it was. Do you ever think of just calling somebody? Like all of a sudden a name just pops in your head and you feel like you need to pick up the phone and call somebody? That could be a nudging from God. That could be a little calling. Last week, a friend of mine, her name is Marie, I was texting her and she told me that her son had to be hospitalized. Well, I could tell from how she was texting me that she was really upset. Well, anybody would be very upset. And she just felt horrible. And then in the middle of our conversation, our texting back and forth, she said that she got another text from somebody else. It was from her niece. Her niece just sent her pictures of her children, of her small children. She was really excited about that. In fact, she sent me this to tell me about the pictures. She sent me the pictures to show me, and then she sent this. And the power of God prevails again. He knew the perfect time for Beth to share the pics of her kids. I hadn't heard from her in months. That was a nudge from God. That was God timing. That was a God thing. That didn't just happen. I think in Katie and Landon's sermon where they told us to trust God, I think trusting God also includes trusting God when we feel that nudge. When we feel that nudge from God that we should do something. So if you ever have a weird feeling that you're supposed to do something, do it. Call that friend. Send that text. Compliment that cashier at Walmart or wherever you're shopping. Trust that feeling. Trust that little nudge. Trust God. Right now, we're seeing so many problems in our world. We see problems in our country, in our state, in our cities, even maybe in our own homes. And sometimes those problems just seem way too big to tackle. At least by ourselves, they're way too big to tackle. For instance, when we look at the pandemic right now, it's a worldwide pandemic. What on earth could we do to help that? We can't even physically be together to worship God. How are we going to stop a pandemic that's worldwide? What can we do? Well, the problem is so big. But I'm reminded of one of my favorite quotes. It's by Robert Kennedy. Some men see things as they are and ask why. I dream of things that never were and ask why not. I am so grateful to be in a congregation in this church where we are asking, why not? Why not? Why can't we help in this pandemic? And you know what? We can. We're not going to solve it. That's up to the doctors and the scientists to solve that. But we can do things while we're waiting. One thing we can do is we can stay safe. We can work together to keep each other safe. We can do something. Our mission is possible. God knows exactly what needs to be done, and He knows exactly what we're capable of doing. He knows how we can help each other. So when we break this huge problem down, and we try to ask ourselves, what can we do to help? One thing we can do is to wear a mask. This is one of my favorite commercials right now. I hope you enjoy it.